Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Astrid. We travel and fashion videos every week. So this week I'm coming at you with a tag about 11 tricky language learning questions. So basically what happened is that I was doing the bilingual tag, and I was looking at the questions online, and then I found this other question about language learning, and I had a lot of questions from you guys about language learning and why I speak English although I'm French and everything, and how I learned German and all of that. And also in my last video about language learning, I interacted with a lot of you guys, and I saw that you had a lot of questions. So I'm doing a sort of Q&A about language learning today for you guys. So if you like travel fashion, feel free to subscribe because that's what I do. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So, first question is, what do you consider to be your native language? Well, up until the age of 9, the only language I could talk was French, so I would say my native language is French. What was your first language learning experience? My first language learning experience was actually through traveling. I hadn't taken any sort of like language course or anything in this order. And I took part in a program that's called the En Famille Internationale program, and I left my family for 6 months. I was 9 and I moved to England into a guest family that's called the Scott family. That is a lovely family, and that's how I learned English. I basically came there and I had like absolutely zero basis of English. I had never taken any course, and I joined this family and they taught me English and they showed me the culture, and it was absolutely magical. I know it sounds scary, even more once you have seen the rules. Like, we had really strict rules, like you're not allowed to call your parents more than 20 minutes a week. Your parents are not allowed to visit for the 6 months. You're not allowed to go on social media, or you're not allowed to talk to anyone in your native language. And it is scary, not gonna lie, but it's also one of the best experience I've ever done. I've learned so much and I've really grown so much, even though I was just 9, and it's a massive opportunity and it was a great chance. So that was my first experience with learning languages. It was a bit of a big one but it was great, and it was very scary, but it was completely worth it. What languages have you studied and why did you start them? So I've studied English because I already spoke it, and it was just a way to gain easy points at school. Same thing with German. I did the same experience as I did in England. I did the same in Switzerland, in the German speaking side. So there I learned German and Swiss German, and I was 11 at the time. And so I also started studying German for the same reason as English, meaning that it was just the easy option. And then I joined a bilingual high school for people who speak French and German, and I studied German more in depth than I did English. I also started studying Russian, but I was really behind on the class, and also I started learning Portuguese, but then the courses stopped after a year because I moved to USA, and there they didn't have any Portuguese courses. And I did a semester of Spanish in the US. So overall, I'm really happy that I've tried all these different languages. I've definitely learned that learning languages in class is not my forte, and I should stick to what I do well, which is moving somewhere and learning language. But yeah, that's everything that I had courses on. How does your personality affect how you learn your languages? I think it depends on how you learn your language. Basically, I think if you're more outgoing, maybe you should go to the place, like to the country, and just learn on the, just learn like as it comes. And if you're more of an introvert, maybe start with classes and then go to the country. But I think just fits what suits you best. I don't think one personality is going to have more ease. It's just how you take it and just finding the way that suits you best. Question number 5. Do you prefer learning languages in a class or individually? I don't prefer either of those. I prefer going to the country and just be confronted to the fact that it's your only solution and just sticking with it. That's how I do it. What are your favorite language learning materials? Again, the fact that I don't have a choice. How much time do you spend actively learning per day, week? If I have to learn language, like when I was in this high school for German speaking people, we still had to like work on our language skills because we really had to get to a good level. So I would work 1 hour a day on things like vocabulary, and also I think it's easy to work on languages because like watching a movie really helps you work on your language skills. So it could either be like listening to music or watching a movie or reading a book, and I think you just don't see these hours passing by just because you're doing it naturally. So I couldn't really tell you how much time I spend, but I'd say roughly an hour a day. And also vocabulary lists are amazing to learn language. Like, this is one of the techniques that I used when I was abroad trying to learn a language. If you do yourself a list of 20 vocabulary words every day, you learn the language so much faster than if you like learn a big chunk at once. So I would just do like 20 words of vocabulary every day, and like that your brain gets used to learning like profusely. What are your short-term and long-term language learning goals? Right now, I'm starting my career and everything, so I'm gonna calm down with the language learning thing. However, I'm looking maybe to do a VIE, which is a program in France where you go abroad to work in a new company, like in a country that you don't know anything about. So I'm thinking that if I'm going to learn a next language, would be probably through one of those programs.